All right, today we're jumping into a crypto project that's been making some serious waves, quietly building one of the biggest communities on the entire planet. And now it's right on the edge of a huge change.
Just look at that number, 60 million. That's not just some random stat. That's more people than live in most countries. Just let that sink in for a second.
So you gotta ask, right? What in the world is this project that's pulled in a user base that massive, with every single person, and get this, mining digital currency directly on their phones? Well, the answer is the Pi Network.
So here's our game plan. We're going to tackle that 60 million user question first. Then we'll get into what's happening with unlocking the digital wallet. After that, we'll explore the promise of real utility. And finally, we'll take an honest look at the challenges that are still on the road ahead.
Okay, first things first, let's get to the bottom of this 60 million user question. What exactly is the Pi Network?
At its heart, the Pi Network is all about one thing: making crypto accessible to everyone. It was designed from day one to be mobile first, which is a total game changer. It lets its community, who they call pioneers, mine PiCoin right on their phones, and it doesn't even drain their battery. This super simple approach is exactly why it's taken off, especially in parts of the world with limited access to traditional banking.
And you know, this wasn't some chaotic free-for-all. The Pi core team laid out this incredibly deliberate 5-phase plan right from the start. You see it here. It moves from mining to a technical migration, then a mass migration, wallet setup, all leading up to that final goal: full utility activation. This step-by-step approach is really key to understanding what's happening right now.
And that brings us to the really big news. The network has just kicked off Migration Phase 2. This is a massive, absolutely critical step in their journey.
So what on earth does Migration Phase 2 actually mean? Well, here's the easiest way to think about it. For a long time, the Pi economy has been like a city built behind walls for testing. That was the enclosed mainnet. This new phase, this is the moment they're throwing open the gates, moving everybody's money onto the public blockchain so that real business can finally get started.
And to really get how big of a deal this is, look at the difference here. Phase 1 was like a dress rehearsal. It was for early adopters, it was limited, just to test the system and iron out any bugs. But Phase 2? Oh, this is the main event. We're talking mass migration for everyone who's eligible, moving thousands of users a day. The goal is no longer just testing, it's about enabling real, widespread use.
So, the gates are swinging open. But what does that actually mean for those millions of pioneers? Why does this particular phase matter so much?
You know, this quote from the Pi team, it really just says it all. This isn't just some boring technical update. It's the moment PiCoin stops being just a number on an app and starts becoming something you can actually use. It is the gateway to real utility.
So who wins here? Well, pretty much everyone. For users, the pioneers, it means you can finally spend, send, and receive your PiCoin in different apps and marketplaces. For developers, it's a golden ticket. You suddenly get access to this giant global user base that's ready to go with active wallets. And for merchants, it's a brand new way to get paid, with a reach that spans the globe.
And all of this is building toward that final phase on the roadmap: full utility activation. This is the ultimate goal, the end game. It's the vision where PiCoin isn't just for simple transactions, but becomes the foundation for a whole digital economy, supporting things like smart contracts and decentralized finance, or DeFi.
But of course, a project this ambitious, this big, it's not going to be a perfectly smooth ride. So to get the full picture, we have to talk about the challenges that are still out there on the path to that final phase.
From what we're seeing, the main hurdles right now are mostly logistical. There have been some reported delays in the Know Your Customer, or KYC process, which everyone has to do. Some folks are hitting technical snags setting up their wallets, and yeah, there's just some general confusion out there about who's eligible and how the whole thing works. But the Pi core team has made it clear they are working hard to sort all this out.
So if you're a pioneer, what can you do to get ready? The advice is pretty straightforward. It's a clear 3-step process. First, get that KYC verification done. Second, make sure your Pi wallet is all set up and ready to go. And third, start poking around. Engage with the apps in the Pi browser. That's how this whole ecosystem grows and gets stronger.
And really, it all comes back to this one powerful idea, this quote that sums up the entire project's philosophy. PiCoin is designed for real-world use. It was never meant to be just another token for people to speculate on and trade. The goal has always been utility.
Which leaves us with this one massive final question. For years, a lot of people have looked at Pi as this fascinating, large-scale social experiment. But now, with 60 million people starting to move their assets into a live open world, you have to wonder, is this the moment the experiment ends and a real digital economy is born? Only time will tell. Thanks for tuning in.